Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. This is EL117, and this is me, Dr. Sameh Abdel Jalil. And the class is being recorded as usual. So what is it that we're having tonight? Like always, we're going to start with perhaps editing and proofreading, and then make the transition to the chapter under discussion, which is obviously comparing and contrasting. This is the second week in a row that we talk about comparison and contrast essays. Perhaps we have enough experience about them from our previous classes and previous, courses. So what we're doing is that we're kind of tightening the loose ends, if you like. So we're kind of fine-tuning the experience for you. So I'm not expecting people who don't know how to write comparison and contrast essays, because comparison and contrast is a mental activity that we engage in on a daily basis. Comparing classes, comparing teachers, comparing cars. If you want to buy a car, for example, you would be comparing between, let's say, Toyota and Honda, for example, American cars or Japanese cars. Comparing restaurants, you're out for lunch, for example, and you have perhaps Pizza Hut or Kentucky, and you have to kind of decide. These are all comparisons and contrasts, like I said, that we engage in without knowing that we're doing it. So making the transition to writing wouldn't be that difficult if this mental activity is something that we do all the time and at all times. In terms of topics, the topics that can be handled under comparison and contrast essays would be, like I said, if you're perhaps comparing and contrasting between two universities, you're applying for a university, and it wouldn't harm you if you kind of set it against another university and talk about the whatever they share and also whatever they differ on, right? So this is basically what comparing and contrasting is. So what we're doing is, instead of perhaps verbalizing it, instead of talking about two things and comparing them, we're writing about that. We're not using verbal communication in order to deliver those points of similarity and those points of difference. Okay. So let me share the slides that I have with you, and then we are on our way. So where are we? Okay. I'm uploading the file, that's why okay, thank you so much. Okay. Hi. So what do we have? I wouldn't start that early about that. I'm not going to talk about that yet. What's this? This is an exercise and that's an exercise in relevance, because I have noticed while marking your TMAs and the other essays that you guys have this relevance issue. You have problems with establishing which paragraph is relevant and which one is not. You have a tendency to digress, to talk about stuff that we don't want. You you're not doing what we've been talking about. The idea of relevance is very important. If I ask you to talk about cars, I don't expect you to write about bicycles, for example, right? If I ask you to talk about the Arab Open University, I don't expect you to write about King Abdulaziz University, for example. Okay, relevance is very important. And I have noticed that if you're not really focused, you have a tendency to digress and talk about stuff that the question never asked. It's as if you're making your own questions. And I also would like to stress the fact that titles, as far as I'm concerned, titles are not very important, because you're not good at writing titles that are inspired by the question itself. You use or you invent your own titles, and those titles are not related to the question or the prompt. So you end up writing your own essay, an essay that you yourself is the one who set the question for. This is not proper or correct. Okay, we gave you essay prompts or questions that we would like you to stick to. Okay, sticking to them does not mean that you invent your own title, which is obviously not a rephrase or a rephrasing of the question. It's something else. Okay, so you need to invest the right amount of time on essay prompts so that you can produce the correct essay. Otherwise, like I said, will be saying that you're not relevant and your essay is not relevant. So relevance is very important, and it takes some awareness. It takes some alertness while writing, or even before writing. And this brings us to the idea of outline. Outlining is very important, and it's something that you do before you write. It's a pre-writing stage, and it is meant, like I said, to keep you focused and in order to prevent you from digression. Digression when you leave the main line and talk about something else. Okay, digression, by the way, is a human tendency, it's typically human. There is obviously nothing wrong with digression, but if this is perhaps casual talk or a conversation, okay, but in academic writing that would be a big deal, because as people in the academia studying in order to have a college degree, you would have, or people would expect you to have a sense of organization, relevance, focus, right? So otherwise, what would be the difference between you as an educated individual and somebody who is not educated? Education is about organization. Education is about relevance, focus, being to the point, right? Okay. Right. So this is the reason why I'm bringing in this kind of exercise, and will have it every time we meet. We will have something on relevance so that I can make sure that you guys got the idea of relevance right, and you are implementing and applying it. So what we have here, we have what looks like a topic. And I would like you to check. We have like 10 sentences, and I would like you to check which of them would belong with the topic, would be right for the topic, and which of them wouldn't fit, would be irrelevant if I use it. So, what is the topic? The topic is learning English has become a necessity in the modern world. Okay, so this is the topic, or this is the topic sentence. Let's say that this is a paragraph, and you're trying to write the paragraph based on this topic sentence, or based on this topic. Okay, so instead of you writing everything, thinking about the ideas, we have sub ideas rendered in sentences. We would like you to tell us which of these sentences is suitable to the title and which of them is not. Whatever is not suitable would be called irrelevant. Okay, so can we do that? Can I give you like 3 minutes to tell me at the end which of these sentences is going to be suitable and which of them is irrelevant? Yalla, you guys have 3 minutes, and I'll also try to answer along with you. Yalla, go ahead. You guys have 3 minutes from now. Of course, you can see the slide, right?
Yes, we can, Doctor.
Okay, good. I don't see number 10. Can somebody read number 10 for me?
What do you want, Doctor? Read it?
Yeah, I need somebody to read number 10 out loud for me.
Yes, yes.
Was
English
English
grammar is very
Okay.
demanding.
grammar is very demanding.
Demanding. Okay, demanding. Okay.
Yeah.
So are you done? Hello?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Doctor.
Are we all done? Hala and everyone else?
Yes, Doctor, but not all.
Okay. So let's
But
take them one at a time. Okay. Let's start with the okay. I need volunteers, of course. Come to the mic. Number one. So what do you think? What do you think? Number one is relevant to the topic or not? The topic is, of course, learning English has become a necessity in the modern world. So what do you think, Hala? Hala?
Yes, English is the main language for technology and higher education. I think it's relevant.
Yeah, very good, excellent.
Yes.
Okay, so while there, give us another sentence. What do you think of the second one, Hala?
It's a widespread language. It's also relevant
Okay, very
because
good.
they are saying that it's widespread, it's spoken. You will need it in your education and usage of technology. So they all ideas that support the necessity of English.
Okay, which makes them relevant, of course.
Yes.
Relevant means suitable. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's move to 3 and 4. I need somebody for 3 and 4. Can we have somebody? Hello. Excuse me. Okay, nobody's ready with an answer. I thought it's easy.
Doctor,
Hello. Yes.
what we can do? Correct the answer or
There is a topic which says that learning English has become a necessity in the modern world. Okay, so you're supposed to write a paragraph about that. And we're getting you the sentences of the paragraph. Okay, and we are trying to tell you that not all of them are suitable for them. Some of them are not suitable. Okay, so if they are not suitable, we call them irrelevant. Irrelevant means يعني ملوش علاقة بالموضوع. Okay, I gave you the example of if I ask you to write about cars, I don't expect you to write about motor bicycles, for example. Ask you to talk about chicken, I don't expect you to talk about beef. Okay, but this is what we're doing. We're checking whether the sentences that we are reading are relevant, which is good news, or irrelevant, which is bad news. Okay, thank you, Sultan. Okay, let's move to 3 and 4. 3 and 4, everyone. What's wrong?
Can I, doctor?
Yes, what's your name?
Batul.
Okay, Batul, go ahead.
For the number 3, the spoken English and written English have a distance characteristics is relevant.
Relevant means it's good. Is it good? Is it suitable?
I'm sorry, irrelevant.
Irrelevant, which is bad,
Yeah.
right? Okay,
Yeah.
so spoken English and written English have distinct characteristics. It has nothing with the idea that English is a necessity in the modern world. Okay,
Exactly. And also
yeah.
for
Yeah, 4 is also like Batul is saying, English courses are expensive. It has nothing to do with the importance of English in the modern world. Thank you, Batul, so
exactly.
much. Thank you.
Thanks to you.
Yeah. Okay, can we have 5 and 6? Somebody? Hello? ابتدي أزعل والله. This is يعني something very easy. We're so many. I mean, how many people? We're 42. يعني. Hello? We're doing 5 and 6. Who would like to share her insights or his insights with us? Come to the mic. What's wrong?
can I answer?
Okay.
5. It was most of word tools schoolers speak English as a mother, second, or foreign language.
Hmm. What do you think?
Uh,
Relevant or irrelevant?
irrelevant.
Relevant means that it's not suitable. Do you think it's not suitable?
No, it's suitable because the doctor speak English and يعني like schools.
Okay. Well, it's relevant, but perhaps I need somebody to explain why it is relevant. Hala, are you still there?
Yes, most of the world scholars speak English as a mother, second, or a foreign language. So it's relevant because they're saying that most educated people or professors they speak English as a first language, so they are native speakers, or as a second language like us, or as a foreign language, so they speak more than two languages, and English is one of them. So it's widespread, and most people speak it, even if it's not their native language.
Yeah, that's interesting. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, number 6. Anybody? There are different varieties of English language. Hello? Relevant, irrelevant. Where is everyone? Is it difficult or something? And I don't know. No, I think it's easy and straightforward. It's only that you're perhaps lazy, or you're on but not on. I mean, you're in the room and you're not in the room, right? So there are different varieties of English language. Do you think this is relevant? Do you think this is inspired by the title, if you like? Hello.
Yes, doctor.
Yes. What's your name?
Batul.
So is it going to be only Hala and Batul? Where is everyone? Okay, Batul, go ahead.
Actually, it's relevant, doctor.
There are different varieties of English language.
Yeah.
What do you think?
So,
And yeah, I mean, even if we say that something relevant, and if we compare it to another sentence, one of them would be more relevant than the other. So I would accept it as relevant, but if I compare it to perhaps it's a widespread language, or English is the main language, I wouldn't say that it is too relevant. Yes, okay. Perhaps it can. I can start another paragraph using it. Okay, but if you ask me, I would say that it's irrelevant. Okay, but you're doing a good job. Yeah, but thank you so much.
Thanks.
7.
Can I, Doctor? Can I?
Yeah, Rawan. Yeah, go ahead.
Yasmin, Doctor.
Yes.
English and Germany are very difficult languages to learn. It's irrelevant. Irrelevant.
Okay. Yasmin, right?
Yes.
Can you read it again? Read it.
English and German
Okay.
are very difficult languages to learn.
To learn. Yeah. What do you think?
It's irrelevant.
Okay, it's irrelevant, right? So
Yes.
it's not suitable. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Number
right.
8.
Let me have somebody else. Obviously, people are trying to answer. Thank you, Yasmin. Thank you so much. Can we have? Yeah.
Can I answer number 8?
Okay. Answer number 8.
Number 8. Most employers prefer to hire native
To
English
hire.
speakers or to hire native English speakers or
bilinguals
with good command of English.
Okay, read it again. So most employers
employers employers prefer to hire native English speakers or
Bilinguals.
bilinguals with good command of English.
Command of English.
Command of English.
Okay, so bilingual, by the way, the word bi means two, right? So bilingual means people who speak two languages. Bilingual. Okay.
Bilingual.
Okay.
I think it's relevant.
It is relevant. Okay. Any reason why? Can you give us, reasons?
Because when people speak two languages, it makes more experience, more knowledge, qualification.
Yes, and that would that would give them the opportunity to have jobs, right? So employers
they can
need
have good job.
they can have jobs and they can have good jobs. Yeah, good job, Yasmin. Good job. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor.
You're welcome. Okay, so let's move to.
Can I, Doctor?
Yeah, what's your name?
My name is Amjad.
Amjad, go ahead, you Amjad.
Knowing English makes traveling easier and more pleasant. I think it's relevant.
Relevant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Relevant.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, Amjad. Thank you so much. Okay, number 10. I think Fawzia was raising her hand. Go ahead, Fawzia.
Yes, Doctor.
Yeah, 10. Can you do 10?
Number 10 is not clear for me. Can you read it, please? Okay. English grammar is very demanding. I think it's not, it's irrelevant because it's talking about grammar and the topic, it's about the modern world in the English.
The importance of English in the modern world, and the fact that it is a necessity, right? So it is based on that. This is not relevant because we're not talking about grammar, right? Obviously.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Fawzia. So this is basically what I wanted you to be aware of. So you don't just write sentences that you think would make sense in the final analysis, because they don't make sense. Okay. So making sense would be using the right sentence, would be investing the right amount of time reading the topic sentence or the topic in general. Okay. And that's why we divided that's why we said that the writing is a process, and if it's a process, it has stages that you have to observe and follow. And one very important stage would be the stage of preparing and outlining. If you outline and if you prepare, it means that you, before you write, you're going to filter and narrow down the scope so that you end up with the correct sentences. Otherwise, if you don't prepare, if you don't make an outline, you end up writing everything, whatever is relevant and whatever is irrelevant. And we have that in exams. Perhaps when you move on and go to content courses like AA100A and A230As and Bs, you will have, essay prompts that you should be reacting to them. So unless you understand the prompt, the likelihood that you get it all wrong is very high. Okay, so it's not about filling the page with words and sentences. It's about filling the page with words and sentences that are relevant and that are to the point. Okay, good. I'll go to your essays. Some of you were gracious enough, were kind enough, and nice enough to react to our call for essays, and I thank them for that. Let's have, this is one of them. Okay. So online and traditional education, like I said, I don't care about titles. Okay, unless you choose the right title based on the question. Don't write titles. Okay, so what is it that we're going to do? I would like you to give me your initial impressions, like we always do. Remember, we need to. You have the list by now. You have a checklist, and you try to read the piece of writing against this checklist. What we have on the checklist, we have whether the piece of writing is a paragraph or an essay, and if it's an essay, first of all, you need to say why you think it's an essay or why you think it's a paragraph. You after that, you need to determine what type of essay it is, and of course, you still remember the menu of essay types that we have. I spoke about prose, descriptive, narrative, persuasive, and also comparing and contrasting, right? And then
Doctor,
after, yes, what?
may I ask you?
No, not now. Let me finish. Okay, so like I said, you have to keep all these ideas in. You go read the piece of writing and you check its rhetorical aspects, the suprasegmental level, whether there is cohesion, whether there is relevance and unity, um, or not, transition, smooth transition from one paragraph to another. And then after you're done with that, you go to the segmental or the mechanical aspects of the piece of writing, whether there are spelling errors, structural and grammar errors, punctuation errors, and so on. So this is how we approach a piece of writing. Okay, so what is it that I want you to do now? I would like you to give me your initial impressions. Okay, essay, a paragraph, why it's an essay, why it's a paragraph, what type of essay, what type of paragraph. Yeah. So I'll give you 3 minutes to do all of that. Okay. Perhaps you need to have a pen or a pencil handy where you can jot down or scribble things on the page. It's always good to take down notes. Like I always say, our memories are very short. Okay, you cannot remember everything. If I ask you to come to the mic and speak, you will say something and forget two things. So in order to minimize our tendency to forget, because we're human beings and our memories are short, you can always have a pen or a pencil handy and a piece of paper, and you note down your observations. You guys have 3 minutes. Yeah.
Doctor, is it only 3 paragraphs or there's
No, I think it's only 3 paragraphs. Let me check. Yeah, it's only 3 paragraphs.
Oh, okay.
Yes. It's not. This is the one. No, this is not the one. Wait. So what's wrong? Sorry. Yeah, this is the one. Yeah, it's only 3 paragraphs. Yeah. So whose piece of writing is it? Hello? So whose piece of writing is this one? No one? Rawan Mahfouz? Is it yours?
Yes, I'm Rawan.
Okay, I was asking about this piece of writing. Is it yours?
No, it's not.
Okay, thank you.
It's an
Doctor,
Yes.
can I ask? Can I answer?
Answer what? We're not done yet, unless you are the owner of this piece of writing. Is it yours? This is my question. Obviously, it's not.
Yes.
Okay.
I
Is
think
it yours?
it's an yes.
No, you're not getting my question. You're not answering. And this is, by the way, Yasmin, this is an example of irrelevance. Okay?
Yes.
When somebody asks you a question and you answer something else.
Yes.
Are you getting the idea? This is what I want you to think about. Okay, before you answer, whether verbally or in writing, you need to think. Of course, this applies to everyone.
Yeah.
Okay, Yasmin?
Yes.
Okay. Right. Okay, let's talk about it. Okay, remember the checklist that we have. We need to check. Check the checklist and see how you're going to answer me. So the essay is up for grabs now. You can always reflect on what is happening. You can always give me your initial impressions. Okay, let's talk about it, everyone. Come to the mic. Okay. Wait here, Hala. Hala wants to say something. Let's wait for others and then come back to you. Okay. So who else would like to volunteer answers? Hello. Very strange. Yasmin, you wanted to say something, right? You wanted to answer.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes. I think it's say because it's contain 3 paragraph, not 1.
Okay, so it's an essay
And
because
yes, it's comparing.
Slow down, Yasmin. Slow down.
Yes.
Okay, so Yasmin is saying that it's an essay because it is. We have more than 1 paragraph. We have 3 paragraphs. Okay. Okay, Yasmin. What else?
I think it's comparing. It's say because it's comparing between online and traditional education.
Okay. Yeah, this is what
But
this was
this is said without conclusion.
Well, it's not about the conclusion. You said that it is a comparison and contrast essay because the writer of the essay is comparing between online and traditional learning.
Yes.
But I haven't seen any comparison. Perhaps the only comparison that she made with between the pluses and the minuses of the e-learning or online learning. Okay, Yasmin, thank you so much. Hala, would you like to elaborate on this idea? Hala?
Yes, doctor.
Yes.
So I think that the intent was to compare and contrast, but like you said,
Yes.
it doesn't appear to
The
be
only
comparing.
comparison that we have is in the title, which is not enough, right?
Yes. Yes, the whole essay looks like a persuasive essay for me.
Yeah,
And
excellent, excellent.
yeah, it's persuading me for online for online learning, because at the end she also, or he, the writer, the author, retouch on that and says that online classes may reduce, and she's just, where is it? Yeah, the choices that you may differ, but the advantages and the advantages may differ, but online learning is kind of like, she's saying it's better. So I think it's a persuasive essay.
Yeah, it's better. I mean, better than what? This is the big question, right? She left it unanswered, right?
Yes,
She
she didn't
focused, like
speak
you,
about,
excellent. She focused on online learning, and that would make it more of a persuasive type of essay.
yeah,
Excellent.
so I didn't say anything about traditional education,
Mhm.
face-to-face
Yes,
education. Yeah.
yeah, that's correct. But it's if you ask me, and I think it would be more convenient if we call it a persuasive essay, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's talk about the vision of the essay, the organization, because like what's her name? Yasmin said, we don't have a conclusion. We could have had a conclusion, but for some reason, the author didn't provide us with a conclusion. I think the part that starts with on the whole, many people think that could have been a good conclusion, right? What do you think, yeah?
Me, doctor?
Yes.
Yeah. What would consider a good conclusion?
I said the last paragraph.
Uh-huh.
You have this part that starts with on the whole, many people think that could have been a good conclusion.
Yes, yes, I think especially that she restate that the best option for many people, especially in this pandemic. So she retouched on the pandemic issue, which she said on the introduction. So retouches on the corona and pandemic, and she restate her opinion, which is online classes, online education is better than traditional one.
Yes, that's
Yes,
correct.
it could be a
Yes,
conclusion by itself.
yes. Okay. So this is defeating the purpose of the essay. The essay was meant to be comparison and contrast, but you ended up having a persuasive essay. Why would I call it persuasive? Because she focused on one type of education, which is online, and she started to kind of highlight how good it is and everything. So it is as if she's trying to convince us that online learning is, or online education is the best, or better than anything else. But she didn't specify this anything else, right? Yeah, good. So what do you think now that we have read it? Do you think that she was? I'm talking to everyone. Do you think that she was consistent in her ideas? Do you think that she kind of introduced a good argument, even though she is on the wrong direction, if you like? Okay, I'm trying to give her the benefit of the doubt, but in exam situations, I would say that this is irrelevant. Why? Because we asked for comparisons, right? And we ended up having a persuasiveness. Okay, so again, we ask people to read very well before they start writing. Okay, if you go to the original question or the original prompt, it makes it very clear that we need a comparison between online education and traditional education, right? So what we have here, we have only online learning or online education. Okay, so was she successful in answering her own question? Her own question was again about or purely about online education. Did she succeed in getting us there? Was she able to kind of drive home whatever ideas she has using proper English, using clear ideas, using smooth transition? Do you feel comfortable reading the essay? You think it's consistent, it's relevant? I mean, the language is good, the language is, I don't know. What do you think, everyone? Hello.
Doctor, could you please repeat your question?
Where were you? On another planet?
No, actually, I was praying. I'm so sorry.
Okay. It's okay. I was talking about the, yani, even though she's not giving us what we wanted, because she seems to be a little bit irrelevant and off track, if you like. Because we asked her in the essay prompt, we kindly mute your mic. We ask everybody to make a comparison between online and traditional learning, and we ended up having only online learning, the pluses, which made the essay at the end look like a persuasive essay, right? However, let's read the essay and let's not be too judgmental about what we wanted and expected and what we have now. And let's focus on whether she was successful in conveying the ideas that she had about online learning or not. Successful in the sense that there is transition, smooth transition from one paragraph to another. There is a good introduction that has a hook, that has background, that has a thesis statement, and whether if she has a thesis statement, did she manage to kind of live up to the thesis statement in the rest of the essay? Can we do that? We're checking that. Okay, somebody is raising her hand. Ilaf, go ahead. Or perhaps she's only keeping her mic on. Ilaf, would you like to say something? I think, yeah, Ilaf, if you're not going to talk, please mute your mic. I think I have the privilege of muting her mic. Yes, which I did. Thank you, Ilaf. Okay, so who else would like to contribute input to this very interesting conversation? Nobody? Only Hala? Okay, Hala, come to the mic.
Okay, so even if we assume that the question was to write a persuasive essay, I think, unfortunately, this essay completely missed the mark. It wasn't even successful to persuade us to go for online learning, because there wasn't a clear statement. Even at the end, the author or the writer just say, weigh your advantages and disadvantages. She's not telling us that online learning is the best, go for it. No. So there's no clear thesis statement. the ideas, all the ideas that were discussed, they need the ideas that were expressed, they require further development, and the content is somewhat confusing and difficult to read and understand.
Yeah, I got the impression that she, and I'm hoping that I'm not too harsh on her. I got the impression that she's putting things together without, thinking about them, without, um, checking whether they belong together or not. And this is very serious, right?
Yes,
So again,
all the paragraphs and the essay in general, it lacks coherence.
yes.
And they're not, the sentences are not related to each other and to the topic.
Okay, so we're now talking about the suprasegmental level, the rhetorical level. And even if you go to the mechanical level, you will find that she has also issues with the construction and of sentences, and right.
Yes, like grammatical issues, weak writing
Yeah.
patterns.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So out of 5, if we rate her out of 5, how much would we give her? Remember that she's writing. We asked her for, and let me tell you about the positive things about this essay. We told her write an essay, and she wrote an essay, right? To the best of her abilities, by the way. We don't want to be too judgmental. It's a good attempt, after all, right?
2.
2 out of 5. Don't you think that this is
Maybe 3.
being very discouraging? You're discouraging here, yeah, Hala.
No, but you just said that you're giving her only marks for just writing an essay. So what about unity, coherence, language and style, content? You only said that she wrote an essay.
Yeah. Yes.
But she very new and wrote an essay and those things. So if she wrote an essay and she could a little bit have the main idea that she want to put it in the essay, that's make her like do her best. So we need to help her either. So we need to give her marks. So 3.5.
It all depends upon your rubric. How many marks did you put for hitting the mark essay, hitting the content, language, coherence? It all depends on your rubric. So emotions aside, you have to have a clear rubric, and then you'll be able to give her the right mark.
Yeah, I'll give her 3. I mean, let's compromise. Yeah, she did a good job. I mean, given the fact that she reacted, and she was kind enough to react and write the essay, and she's learning. I don't know who she is, but she's. I remember that lots of us, when we started, we didn't know the difference between an essay and a paragraph in terms of, the organization of the essay. So I think we came a long way, even though there are errors. And writing is about learning from your errors. Thank you to whoever wrote this essay. Thank you so much. And we'll settle for 3 out of 5. Thank you so much. Okay, I'm not going to talk about the mechanical errors because there are many. Okay, fine. Can we move to somebody else? Yeah, this is another piece of writing. I would like you to look at it and tell me what you think. Go ahead. You guys have 3 minutes. Hello. Are we done? Yes. Yeah. Ahmed Abbas is raising his hand. Go ahead.
I have question. Test
No.
coming right essay only.
Which test?
Essay.
Do we have an? I think we have finished the 5 quizzes, Yagama, right? Do we still have any more quizzes to do?
No, doctor. No, doctor. We have another one. Then we have final.
Do we still have? We haven't done the 5th
MCQ
one.
next week. No, next week.
Yeah.
Which is what, number 5?
Yes, MCQ.
Yeah, number 5.
Okay, and then we move to the final, right?
Inshallah.
So it's going to be multiple choice questions. اختياري يا أحمد. نعم.
دكتور الفن راح يكون بالجامعة؟
إن شاء الله. Okay. Let's go back to this piece of writing. So what do you have to say about it? Come to the mic. Hello. I have so many people, right? Yasmin, Hala, Rawan. Let me check the names. وجدان, ميادة, أصايل, غادة, AOU, أمجاد الحربي, فاطمة فراج, عفاف. Where are you, everyone? Amira,
Doctor, I cannot participate, right? Because this piece of writing is mine.
That's okay. It's okay. Go ahead, yeah, Amgad. This is yours, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you like to talk about it?
Yeah, I think I like.
Yeah.
Talk,
Okay.
talk.
Do you like it?
Now I realize my mistake. I think
that's okay. I mean, it's like I say. I mean, it's we all learn from our errors and mistakes, and this is the only way that we can move forward. Right? It's not about theory. It's not about. I mean, every time we meet, we talk about the ideas, but we don't implement or apply them. Right? So
yes.
you're doing an excellent job, and I'm so proud of you, Amjad. But you have, I mean, errors and mistakes like everybody else, right? So, what do you think? Is it, what kind of writing? Is it an essay, a paragraph? What do you think?
It's an essay.
It's an essay. Why do you think it's an essay, Amjad?
It's more than one paragraph.
Okay.
And I think it's not comparison, right?
I don't know yet. We're collecting initial impressions about it.
Yeah.
Well,
because I usually like when I write something like I go out of the box.
So you mean yes. Yeah, you mean that. So this is why we're saying that outlining is very important. Yeah, Amgad.
Yeah.
It keeps you in check and it keeps you focused.
Yes.
Did you outline before you write? Did you make an outline?
No, but I just collect information.
Yes.
That I think it's great, and I managed to write it.
Okay. So what is great? You said that something is great.
No, I didn't say great. like I mean, I.
Okay. Yeah, you're doing a good job. Yeah, and I am proud of you. Okay.
I mean, doctor, like I collect information.
Nice.
Then I write this piece of essay.
Yes. Okay. So you collect information
Yeah.
Where? I mean, how?
No, I ask my brother and
Yes,
my
that's
sister.
good. Research. You're doing. You did some research, right?
Yeah, I did some research.
Okay. So you do some research and then you put them in a container.
Yeah.
And what is the container? The container would be the outline. Okay.
Okay.
And then you filter those ideas in the container or in this outline. You only keep whatever you think is relevant, whatever you think is to the point, whatever you think will help you throughout, right? Okay. Can we have somebody else? Rawan Mahfouz, I think, was raising her hand.
Yes, doctor.
Okay, go ahead.
I think it's a comparison essay. She tried to.
Would you raise your voice a little bit?
What?
Raise your voice.
Yes. Can you hear me clear right now?
I don't know whether the problem is mine or yours, but
I think it's from my laptop actually.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. She tried to mention with us the positive side of online learning and some comparison between online learning and traditional learning.
Have you spotted that? I haven't detected any talk about traditional learning. One of the advantage, there is this.
Yes.
One of the advantages of face-to-face classes.
Yeah, she tried to compare between, but she.
Yeah. We have a problem because you have to have a thesis statement that would combine the two types, right? Online learning and traditional face-to-face learning, right? Which she didn't.
Yes.
Which gave me the impression that she's also writing a persuasive essay because she's focused on the value of online learning, if you like, right? She's all for online learning. Perhaps this is the mistake that her other colleague did. Remember when we spoke about the other essay and we said that we don't have anything about traditional learning. So Amjad is doing almost the same thing. She's focused on online learning, talking about how good it is, right? And the fact that it is a step in the right direction. To the total neglect of face-to-face learning, right? Okay, thank you, Rawan. Can we have somebody else? Okay, Hala, go ahead.
I agree with you. I think that it's not a compare and contrast essay, it's a persuasive essay. But without a clear thesis statement, you find lots of paragraphs not related to the thesis statement or the controlling idea due to the lack of the thesis statement.
Yes.
So lots of the ideas or paragraphs are not related to the controlling idea of this essay.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a persuasive essay. It's clear that she's supporting online education, but it has some problems like the conclusion. There's new ideas in there. There's not a clear thesis statement, and some of lots of the ideas need to more development and to just add for them. They are good ideas, but they need to more development. They need examples, real examples, statistics, something to support them.
That's interesting. Okay, Hala, thank you so much. Can we have somebody else? A different voice, perhaps? Where is Fawzia and the others? Yasmin?
Yes, doctor.
Yes, go ahead.
Doctor, I think the essay it's persuasive. She told us about why the online learning is better than traditional learning, and she speak about that. I think the introduction is not good. She
It's an Arabic introduction where she's perhaps a translation from Arabic. When you say, for example, our government is still working to make education compatible, as she said, our government is still working. It means تعمل حكومتنا على. This is too Arabic too, right? What do you think?
Yes.
Yes.
In the introduction, she make two paragraphs. We can consider two first paragraph and two paragraph introduction, not.
She should have
not supporting
the second
paragraph.
Yes. This is correct. We should have had only one paragraph because the second part is obviously it should have gone up a little bit so that they can make one solid paragraph, because she's saying, I'm going to talk about the benefits and the struggles in details. Obviously, this is her thesis statement. Whether she spoke about that or not, you guys need to determine. You have read the essay. So obviously she spoke about the benefits. I haven't seen any, she's talking about the benefits. She's talking about the advantages. Have you spotted or detected any, any talk about the negative side of online learning?
Yes.
Where?
That the lower elementary and the kindergarten are not ready for it.
Yeah, okay. But she said it, or she wrote it in passing, to the extent that she dismissed my eyes, right? Perhaps she didn't stress that well enough, right? Now, what's your name?
And this is Amjad.
Amjad. Oh, okay, go ahead.
In the third paragraph, I wrote distant learning has disadvantages, such as the student cannot participate until the teacher allows them, and break time is limited, communication is limited between teacher and students, unexpected tests, and traditional way of teaching.
Yeah, you perhaps say them better than than when you wrote them, but you're very articulate, by the way. Your spoken English is excellent, Amjad. You're doing a good job still. Okay, so overall, how much would you give Amjad? Hello.
Two marks.
حرام عليك يا ياسمين. You're too harsh on Amjad. What do you think?
Maybe 3.5, doctor.
Okay. So Fawzia is saying 3.5. Okay. Who else?
Actually, it deserved 4.
What?
It deserved 4. She deserved 4.
Okay. One final rating before we leave this part.
Please, I have question.
Not now, yeah. Let's finish this first, and then we'll come back to you.
What to require?
Come again? What?
What to require?
What?
يعني ايش المطلوب؟
Nothing. I mean, just we're rating the essay. Rating the essay means that we're giving a mark to your colleague. She wrote a very beautiful essay, and we're giving her a mark out of 5. Okay? Okay. So somebody was raising her hand. Come to the mic. Okay. Right. So let's move somewhere else. I'll keep that for perhaps next time. I'll post it on the group so that you can critique it, so that you can read it and give me your thoughts and take on it. Okay. Comparison between online and face-to-face classes. So this is going to be on the WhatsApp group for us to talk about and discuss. Let's move to something else. Okay, let me introduce what we have today. Okay, so if you talk about comparison and contrast essays, we, like I said, we're talking about something that is already all over the place, in terms of how common this idea is. It's something, like I said, that we do on a daily basis, where there's so many encounters that we have with other people, where comparisons are due, where contrasts are due, right? You compare between houses, you compare between cars, you compare between teachers, right? Okay, so we're identifying or trying to identify a compare and contrast paragraph from other paragraphs, whatever that means. Let's leave this part. Okay, look at these topics and see whether you agree that they can be compare and contrast essays or not. Compare or contrast two musical styles, such as classical and contemporary ragi. So music, you compare perhaps between Western music and classical or Arabic music, right? Oriental music and Western music, right? You compare between two clubs, two restaurants, right? You compare between doing research using the library at the university or doing research on the internet. You, if you are in, if you have in a university where it has dorms and it has places where you can spend the night, and you compare between living on campus or living off campus. You compare between cities, for example. You compare between Jeddah and Riyadh. So these are all elements, things that we do on, like I said, on a regular basis. So the idea of comparison and contrasting is not foreign to us, right? Okay. So the fact that you're having perhaps a mental map or a mental table where you're putting something on a column and something else in another column, this is in and of itself a comparison, right? So you're comparing perhaps between two houses, right? House A and house B. So this is a comparison. So you talk about the similarities and you also talk about the differences, right? this is another comparison. Look at that. You have Nike versus Adidas, right? This is sportswear, and they are all over the place, right? So you need to decide whether you're going to go for Adidas or go for Nike. And obviously, you can mentally compare and contrast between them, right? So it's something that we do it, like I said, in an instinctive way. I mean, we don't think twice about it, okay? The comparison just pops up mentally, right? Pepsi and Coca-Cola, for example. This is also comparison, right? So how do people compare and contrast? Remember last time I spoke about the difference between comparing and contrasting. And we said that if you're comparing, it means that you're looking at the similarities. And if you're contrasting, you're looking at the differences. So can we have both in an essay? Absolutely, we can have both. Okay. So how do we handle that? Within the comparison and contrast essay, we have styles of comparison. We have what we call the plot style of comparison and contrasting, and we have what we call the block type of comparison and contrasting. No, I said the two of them. I said block and plot. No, I mean block type or block style and the point by point style. You can almost tell the difference if I say point by point and if I say block. So what do I mean by block? If I have a block style when it comes to comparing and contrasting, it means that I work exhaustively. I look at the points of comparison, the ideas that they share, whether they are they share them in a contrastive way or in a comparative way. I look at those points that bring them together, and then if I'm using the block style, it means that I talk about one point. The whole paragraph would be about one point in one side of the comparison. And then I move to the second side of the comparison. Remember, with comparisons, you have two sides, perhaps two people, two things, right? So let's talk about. Let's give a vivid example. If we're comparing the Arab Open University to King Saud University, for example, what are the points of comparison that we're going to build the comparison and contrast on? It would be the idea of tuition. It would be the idea of space and facilities. If I talk, for example, about space and facilities and I use the block style, it means that I'll start with perhaps King Saud University and I'll talk about the facilities, all the facilities or the facilities in one paragraph. And then I move to the second paragraph and I talk about the facilities in the Arab Open University. And when I am done with that, I go to another point of comparison. I talk, for example, about the fees. So I talk about the fees in King Saud University in a whole paragraph. And then I talk about the fees in the Arab Open University in another whole paragraph. This is called block. You don't have point, one point of comparison being dealt or covered in one paragraph. Talking about the two sides. No, you don't talk about the two sides in one paragraph. The two sides of the comparison, of course. This is called the block style. Okay, so this is exhaustive. You finish everything, and then you move on to another everything. another rel. With point to point, I think the meaning is clear, where you have a point of comparison and you're trying to compare the two sides based on this point within the same paragraph. Okay, so this is what we call point to point or point by point comparison. What do you think from your experience? Which of them is more common, the block, exhaustive style, or the point by point or the point to point? What do you think? Think. Perhaps you need to think. Any ideas? Okay, no problem.
Can I share?
Yeah, of course.
Maybe as startup writers, I'm not sure how to say that. We're not very professional writers. Maybe the block style will be easier for us, because if we compared point by point, maybe it would be distracting for the reader, and we would not be able to convey our ideas clear enough. Block by block, at least it will be more clear to the reader.
You mean block would be easier? Yeah,
yes.
For novice writers, if you like, right? The people who are
block
starting.
Would be easier for us.
Yes, because it's very exhaustive. You finish everything in one paragraph and then you move.
Yes.
And to talk about the same point with the other side, easier, right?
My point may be confusing for us.
Yes. It needs maturity. It needs maturity in writing. I mean, you develop your writing skills and your also mental ability so that you can make the comparisons within the same paragraph between the two sides.
We must be more advanced, I guess.
Yes, I agree. Okay, so what do you think of that? I would like you to and tell me whether it's block or point by point. Go ahead. You have a minute. Okay. Remember, this is. What do you think? This is an essay or a paragraph, or what do you think, Jose?
Okay, doctor. I don't think it's a essay. Maybe a small paragraph, but cut it in more than.
Okay, so it's a paragraph. Okay.
Yeah, I think. And
what kind of paragraph? If is it prose, narrative, descriptive, persuasive? What do you think?
It's a comparison.
Yes, it is. Yes.
About two companies, and the writer doesn't write about one company in one paragraph and another in another paragraph. He writes to talk about thing and different thing in the same paragraph.
Okay, which makes it point by point or block? What do you think?
No, point by point.
Yeah, excellent. Okay, yeah, that's interesting. Okay, anything else that you would like to talk about in this paragraph before we leave it? Anyone? Any final comments on that? Let's talk perhaps about specific words that we normally use with comparison and contrast essays. Do we have specific words, specific connectors, perhaps? What do you think? Have you detected any connectors that we can associate with this kind of essays?
Doctor, maybe
yes.
Whereas.
Whereas, okay, good. Did you notice that we're having perhaps the word few, we have the word more, right? So few, so if you say few, there is a measure of comparison or contrast made, right? If you say more, so you're also comparing, right?
Yes.
If you use words like however, for example, the adverb however. So however means that you said something and about perhaps one side of the argument, and then you're going to say something different about the other side. When you have a phrase like on the other hand and on the one hand, okay, so these are things that we use in making comparisons and contrasts. When we have the comparisons using the comparative mood, when you say, for example, Ali is bigger than Mona, for example. So you have two sides, and you're checking who is perhaps older or bigger, right? When you say that something is more comfortable than something else. So those comparative styles that we're using are also part of this kind of essay, comparing and contrasting. Okay. Here it's the same thing, right? You're comparing two things, Nike and Adidas.
Yeah.
Okay. And these are some of the words that I spoke about. If you're comparing, use words like both and, neither nor, as big as or as large as, not as big as. Or if you're contrasting, you're using words like while, wildest, in contrast, on the one hand, on the other hand, right? Nevertheless, although, right? So the list is big, obviously. Look at the examples. If you go down, you have, for example, you're comparing Canada with the USA when it comes to national parks. And you're saying, for example, that Canada has many national parks. If you compare it to the USA, you're going to see more national parks than the USA or than those in the US. If you talk about Fatma, who wants to study English, and if you talk about her friend Hessa, who wants to study computer science, okay. If you talk about iPhone 7, I think this is a little bit old, right? And Samsung. If you talk about Ethiopia and Austria, the fact that Ethiopia does not have access to the sea, and Austria does not have sea borders as well, or either. If you compare the alphabets of English to other, perhaps to the alphabets in Arabic, these are all comparisons, right?
Doctor, we take one day in like this, and we talk about the study English period. Can we make it like the difference between studying in our country or go outside.
Didn't we speak about that already? I think I asked you to do something about that, right? But the approach was different. I was asking you to write a persuasive essay.
Yeah,
you can always make it a comparison and contrast essay.
Right. That's
right?
what I. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. This is an essay. I'm not sure if we have enough time to kind of go over it. Perhaps I can share it on the group too, and we can kind of discuss it together. So let me talk a little bit about what we mean by comparing and contrasting. So comparison emphasizes the similarities between two things, ideas, concepts, or points of view, while contrasting would emphasize the differences between two things, ideas, concepts, or points of view. Again, when you compare, you have to have points of comparison that you're building the comparison on or against. So the introduction should give the reason for the comparison or contrast. Perhaps you have more liking and preference to something. I mean, obviously, there is nothing wrong with sharing that in the introduction. Perhaps comparisons and contrasts have a measure of convincing and persuasion to them. Make no mistake about it. So you're making a comparison, but you have in mind choice. It's as if you have made up your mind about something, but you're trying to justify why this something is better than the other thing by making those comparisons about them. Again, two styles, two methods, the point by point, like we agreed. And this is an example of point by point. So if you were to write a comparison of college and high, you make a comparison between college and high school. You would, for example, talk about 3 points for cost of attending high school, and of course, cost of attending college. Excuse me, workload in high school and college, social aspects of high school and college. So these are points that you are going to address and talk about. Again, if you choose to write using the point by point, you would finish off talking about each of the three ideas within the same paragraph. You start off perhaps by talking about high school and the cost of attending, and within the same paragraph, you would talk about the cost of attending in college. And then you move to the second point, which is workload. Again, point by point means that you are going to talk about workload in high school and workload in college. Like I said, a long essay that I'm going to share with you on the group, and I would like you to read it on your own. And let's assess it like we always do with the other essays, in terms of whether it lives up to what it claims it is. If the writer is saying that he or she is writing a comparison and contrast essay, we need to check for ourselves and see whether he is applying that or not. So what I want you to do when I send you the essay, I would like you to tell me whether you truly believe that this is a comparison and contrast essay. Whether you truly believe, tell me about the style that he's adopting, if it's comparison and contrast. Is he using the block style or the point by point style, and why? Look at the words that we normally have and associate with comparison and contrasting essays, and they are a lot. It's a long essay, by the way, but I'm sure you'll. Yeah, it's going to be a very good exercise in comparison and contrast essays. It's going to give you insights into what they mean and how they mean what they mean. Unless you have something to share with me, I'm going to call it a night. Do you guys have any questions?
No, thank you, Doctor.
You're welcome.
No, thank you, Doctor.
All right, I'll see you next week, inshallah.
Inshallah. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye bye.
Thank you, Doctor.
inshallah. Salam alaikum.
Bye bye. Alaikum salam.